the recording started, and I'm going to show you first of all the agenda that we have for today. It's here. You tell me if you can see the. Can you see the? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I repeat. Well, sorry. This is the agenda, which is a tentative agenda for Wednesday, the 22nd, which is today, for those, right? First of all, I'm going to give you some feedback on what you did during week 1. Then we are going to be organizing week 2. I do want to say some words as regards these concepts here. Build a community of practice, right? That means I want you to be attached and connected to the rest of your companions, right? That means I know that you do have some kind of WhatsApp group, or I don't know how you communicate, by email, by chat, or whatever. That's important, right? It do have to be a closed state, all right? Before we continue, I'm going to ask you to mute your mics. Please, everybody mute your mics, right? Because there are background noise. If you want to ask me a question, you unmute it and you ask me a question, right? So like, for example, John Oliver, you have to mute your mic. All right? So I repeat, right? This idea of building a community of practice, group study, right? Form a group study. Do not work on your own. You have to get together with your companions, right? And see how to move forward, right? Because these times are times of, let's see, these are difficult times, right? And these are times of instability, and we need to be together, okay? So please do not be, don't study alone. Try to be together with a group of students, okay? You can use, I wrote here, you can use WhatsApp, Zoom, or Jitsi, or whatever, right? Then another word, please check noticias and anuncios periodically, right? There is some tabs on your left margin in the platform with news and some words that I want to tell you, right? So please check them periodically, okay? Then the second part of the meeting is not second meeting. I repeat what I said before. When this meeting is over, right, that the communication breaks, please use the same link that I sent you before. Wait 10 minutes, right, and get into this room again, because I need to discuss several things with you, okay? Yes? And then we need to establish when our Zoom meeting is going to be, our future Zoom meeting, all right? Next week or in 15 days, all right? So, any questions? No? Just move, nod, right? Shake your head if no, okay, good, right. So, feedback on week 1. There were 2 activities: what makes a good teacher, and methods and approaches, or approaches and methods. So I want to be clear, because some of you sent me the paragraph that you were supposed to write when dealing with this activity, what makes a good teacher, right? The same with methods and approaches. But the instructions, I thought that they were clear enough, because there it says, tasks to be handed in when required. And I didn't require it yet. I'm going to ask you to hand it in, but in the future. So during this week, you have to prepare. You have to watch the videos, analyze the ideas and the concepts there, right? Write your outline and write your paragraph. But that was all. You keep it in your folders, right? And then when I asked you, you handed in, okay? So some of you had already handed in. Take it, right? Keep them, all right? So I'm going to establish a date for you to do it, all right? And then the other thing is the question of, or the activity on methods and approaches. The activity on methods and approaches, it was impossible to do it in just 1 week, right? So the idea is that, and I guess that I've already told you, right? You need to work in groups and perhaps assign 1 or 2 chapters per student, then you get together and then you summarize them. Anyhow, this topic, methods and approaches, it's something that you've already discussed with Ceci last year. So there's nothing new. So here what you need to do is to remember that there was a chart, right? Okay, so you need to complete that chart. Take your time, do it conscientiously. But this is a kind of revision. We are starting with revision, all right? So what I'm doing is trying to see how much you remember from last year. Is that clear? Yes. Remember that you can use the reactions, the reaction buttons, right? Like thumbs up or an applaud or whatever. Then one question, and now, yes, I need to, the ones who want to answer this question, as regards the summaries to complete the chart, how are you going about them, right? Are you working in groups?
Ana.
Yes, I don't know who's, wait, I'm going to do this so I can see who's, yes, who says Ana?
Aileen, me.
Okay, tell me, Aileen.
That I read the first bibliography, the one that has 60 pages, I think. Bibliography, the one that has 60 pages.
I cannot remember the number of pages. Tell me the title.
No, but revising methods and approaches. And I made a kind of summary, a definition of method and approach, and when I write it down some doubts.
Okay, that's perfect. Good.
But
this is something that we are going to do now, right? We are going to check doubts. I've already prepared a very brief summary of that. And then if after my explanation you still have doubts, we'll discuss, all right?
But I didn't read the other part.
I didn't what?
Eileen, I didn't read the other part.
Okay.
I didn't read.
Okay, I understand. So you have time. You still have time to do it. So there's no problem, all right? Now, Eileen, my suggestion is please get together with somebody else. Work in groups, right? I don't know, get together with, I don't know, Camila is by your side now. So you get together with Camila and say, okay, I read half the chapters, you read the other half, then you meet through Zoom, through WhatsApp or whatever, and you discuss and you make the summary, right? But it's very important. And remember, people, what I always say, well, no, you don't know, but something that you are going to listen to me saying every class is that we learned a language by doing something, not just by listening to the teacher. So you have to do, right? You have to carry out tasks, all right? Yes? Good. So, what about the rest? Are you working in groups? Are you working with somebody else?
Yes.
Anna, you are saying no. Well, Anna, you should be working with somebody else, please, right? Who else?
I got together with 3 of my companions. We divided the bibliography. Even though I thought personally that it was a little bit overwhelming, the bibliography. Okay. I didn't know that we had more time to do it. I thought that it was for this week, and so we were like hurrying up and reading in a kind of a hurry, and it was overwhelming.
Okay.
I want to speak my truth, you know, because I know that we can talk with you about it.
Yes,
and
definitely.
I felt kind of lost, not knowing what to do at certain points, and well,
okay.
that was my experience.
All right. Thank you, Santi. Now, one thing as regards what you're doing, there's a lot of bibliography for INSE or fundamentals, whatever you want to call it. The problem with this subject is that there are only two modules assigned to it, and we need to read a lot, but a lot. You know what it means, a lot? Because it's one of the most, I cannot understand the people who wrote the curriculum design, why is it that they just assign only 2 periods to one of the most important subjects, right? Because, I don't know, history or literature or whatever, you kind of study along, but methodology, all the rationale on how and why to teach English, it's just unbelievable, right? So that's why you would have to do a lot of these reading alone, right? And I'm just, for example, I remember I sent one of, the first one is a complete book, 90 and something pages. That one I remember. But then the others, I just divided. I love PDF, which is an app in the web, an online app, to divide the book in different chapters. Because if not, what I have to do is that here are the books, you have to look for them, right, for the topics. So I'm taking the time to subdivide the book, to give you the chapters, right? So you don't feel so overwhelmed. But I'm sorry, Sandy, you will feel overwhelmed during the whole year, right? During the whole year, all right?
Maybe what was not clear was the deadline for that summary.
That was in the instructions, right? I wrote there to be handed in when required. I should have been more explicit, as you have like 2-3 weeks to finish. Okay, now going back. Yes, Annabella.
Sorry, but I think that the problem arrived last week when you said that we are going to discuss this today. So I believe that everybody thinks the same. We start doing everything really quickly in order to have finished everything.
Good. The other thing, the issue is not, when I said you need to be prepared, right, to discuss issues with me and topics with me, right? So for that, you need to read before, because if not, you cannot discuss anything, right? So that's why I said, be ready. So one of the issues that you need to start putting into practice is the use of reading strategies, right? Top down and bottom up reading strategies, skimming, scanning, right? Be strategic readers, right? Be strategic readers. That means first and last line of every paragraph. First sentence, last sentence of every paragraph. Remember paragraph boundaries. Remember the organization of a paragraph. That's why I'm so insistent in written too, when you need to pay attention to paragraph organization. Because if you know the paragraph organization, you know where to look for the most important information. Okay? So be strategic when you read. There is no need for you to read word per word. On top of that, you are revising, right? This is the diagnostic period. Yes, this is a revision of what you did last year. Okay? So you kind of already know this. Lucia.
I scanned the book, A Kaleidoscope of Models and Strategies for Teaching.
Yes.
There is a list of several approaches and models. And we have seen, last year, we have seen many of them, but not all of them.
Good.
That is true.
However, they are very easy to read.
Yes, they are.
But we haven't seen all of them.
Have you marked them, the ones that you haven't seen, so we can discuss them here?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. That's the way to go about it.
Yes.
That's the way to go about it. Okay. Anything else about this? No? Okay, let me think, remember what we are doing, how to, I do have the, okay. Now, there is a forum, a new forum that I just created that is called Any Doubts, Any Queries, right? So any doubts or any queries, queries meaning questions, right? Difficulties, inconveniences that you have, use that forum, write it there, okay? Now, anybody can answer. Don't wait for me to answer, right? So if you know the answer to your companion's questions, please write the answers there, okay? Yes? All right, good. So I think that this is everything, right, related to what we did during week 1. And we need to, what we are going to do now, as regards the week 1, 2, is to go through a very brief summary about methods and approaches, okay? So something that we need to have clear is the difference between method, approach, and technique, all right? Method, approach, and technique. There is a difference between a method and approach and technique. The broader idea, the theory, the broader and the theoretical underpinnings and stance is the approach, okay? The approach is the theory. And then the method is based on the approach, is based on that theory, right? And then the technique is the smallest unit. So if we think of concentric circles, we have approach, which is the theory, then inside the method, and inside a technique. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Can you repeat the technique?
Yes. Okay, I repeat. Approach is the theory, right? Think about it as concentric circles, right? So it's the theory. The most important, let's see, the rationale, right? Everything that supports what's inside. What do we have inside the theory? The method. Method is a series of techniques together, right, that are put into practice. And then technique is the smallest unit to approach a certain concept or topic or teaching device, okay? All right? Good. Now, another issue that we need to take into account is the difference between the theory of language and the theory of language learning. And I'm going to go to, I'm sorry, I'm going to change the screen. Wait a minute. I need, first of all, no. Wait a minute, huh? No. Here. I'm going to return to the I'm going to use the same, can you see the new screen? Yes, okay. This is the summary, right, of the main issues you've been reading. So what's a method, right? The difference with an approach, though sometimes some authors do not agree on this difference, right? Now, something important, people, here is the difference between the theory of language and the theory of language learning. The theory of language here has to do with our view of language. What we think of language. What is language for us? What is language for us? Is it the sum of different structures? Or do we have a functional view of language? So this concept or this theory has to do with linguistics. Linguistics is the study of language, all right? So if we think that language is just grammar, What do you think we are going to teach? Now you can talk, come on.
Just grammar.
Basically, right? We are going to teach grammar. We're going to say do, does, im, is, are, or do, does are the auxiliaries. Then you put the, so we are going to teach structure. We are going to teach about the language, okay? So that is a structural view of grammar, right? So if this is our conception of what language is, if this is what we think of what language is, we are going to teach grammar. We are going to focus on form, okay, on correctness. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes? Good. Now, if we think that language is more than grammar, that language needs a context, that language is a way to construct meaning with the other person, with other individuals, the ones who are, in this case, you are listening to me, right? Or you read authors, right? You read chapters, right? And so you were constructing meaning by reading the chapters. You are communicating. So if we think that language is important for communication, we have a functional view of language. And the focus is not on form, but the focus is on meaning. Okay, so you see the difference? Or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, no questions about that?
No.
Sure. Okay.
No.
All right, so remember, theory of language has to do with linguistics, the study of language. The study of language from what point of view, right? From a structural point of view, like saying a noun, a verb, an adjective, right? And everything is separate, or a functional point of view, where the most important idea is the meaning and how we construct meaning together with the other, and how important the context is. All right? Good. Then the other issue here is the theory of language learning, right? So depending on what we think about language, depending on that is the method, the approach that we are going to use to teach. If I think that language is the sum, an addition of different structures, I'm going to be teaching grammar. And I'm going to be using the grammar approach. Okay? Now, if I think that language, or I hold a functional view of language, and that language, the most important thing about language is meaning, I'm going to be teaching through the communicative approach. Is that clear? Yes? So the theory of language learning, the approach that we use, depends on what we think about the theory of language. All right? So these two questions.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Anto,
yes, Anto.
Can you repeat the last sentence, please?
Yes, what I said is, Anto, don't worry that I'm also recording this, so then you can watch it as many times as you want, okay?
Yes.
Now, what I'm saying is that how we teach, right? The approach that we choose to teach depends on how we view language, all right? Now, I use the word choose because I said the approach we choose to teach. That's not true, people. I'm sorry to tell you, you can't choose anything. You have to follow what?
The curricular design.
Exactly. You need to follow the curriculum design, right? So we cannot choose what to do because the curriculum design for primary school, for secondary school say that they that we need to follow the communicative approach, task-based learning and problem solving and project work. So we need to be aware of these theory. Okay? Right. So, so here is, you have, I mean, there is this, the summary. Okay, we have 10 more minutes, right? Remember that when this meeting is over, you wait 10 minutes. Can you listen to me?
Yes, of course.
Okay. When this meeting is over, you wait 10 minutes and you use the same link and you get in again, okay? Yes? So what I was saying, that if your view of language is that of a structural view of language, you are going to be paying attention to the grammatical dimension, you are going to teach phonology, grammatical units, lexical items, right, without context and all that. Now, if you have a functional view of language, you are going to prioritize the semantic and the communicative dimension of language, all right? The notions, the functions of language, right? The meaning, how do you build meaning, all right? Then, let me check with my PowerPoint. Can you see now the PowerPoint presentation? No? No. Oh, okay, well, I can see it, so then the methods, right? The methods that, sorry. Can you see the PDF?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So as regards methods, sorry, here's a drawing, right? Here's a figure that you can use to understand the difference between approach, method, and technique, all right? I think that this is easier for you to visualize. Now, as regards the method, and Lou, you tell me, right, or the rest also tell me if you've seen it. I guess that you have discussed grammar translation method.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So any problems with grammar translation?
No.
No. No. What about the direct method?
Yes,
Yes.
we've seen
All
it.
right, good. What about the audiolingual method?
Yes.
Yes, definitely, right? The army method, right? Drilling and no explanations at all. That's the way I learned English, and I told you it was torture. A lot of repetition drills, transformation drills, right? Questions, answer drills, drilling. It was like repeating what the teacher said, and no explanations, no idea what we were saying. But I knew that she goes with does. I knew that perfectly, right?
Yes.
I wasn't able to communicate. Then, the designer methods. The designer methods are the ones called the humanistic methods, right? Because those methods were based on psychology, right? That had to do with the human being. So they were developed during the 70s and the 80s, mainly in the United States, and they are called the silent wait, total physical response, suggestive media, and communicative language learning. Sorry, it's not communicative, community language learning. Have you seen them?
Yes, we've seen them all.
Right, perfect. Okay. Then this one by the silent wait, but Gateno.
Sorry, Anna.
Yes.
I have a question. For example, the silent way, is it an approach or a method?
It's a method, right?
Method. Okay, inside the designer.
Have a look at this. It says designer method based on humanistic approaches. The approach, right? Because I told you, the approach is the theory, right? So what is the theory that is based this method? Psychology.
The humanistic approach.
Exactly. So these methods, right? These are methods based on approach.
Based on.
Okay.
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 Yes.
Good. All right. think, people, is that we sometimes use them interchangeably, right? We said methods, approaches, it's the same, more, I mean, as if they were the same, which they are not. Now, the other one that I want to, well, Suggestopedia, right? Like, right? All that kind of stuff that I not really, the only thing that I like about Suggestopedia is that this idea of lowering the student's affective filter, right? But then the other thing is like, then total physical response. Do you remember that? TPR?
Yes.
All right, good. Total physical response. And then the communicative language teaching, right? And then,
yes.
of course, communicative language teaching is based, or TBL, right? Which is also a method, right? It's a method. TBL is a method that is based on humanistic approaches, on humanistic theories. Okay? And TBL is part of communicative language teaching. The communicative approach, right? Because the communicative approach is because communication is a theory, is the theory of communication. And so the method that is based on this theory of communication is the task-based language learning. Okay? And based on task-based language learning, we do have project work and problem solving. Because the emphasis, or the main aim, is to try to help students to be autonomous learners.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Yes?
Yes.
Good. And then, well, some problems associated with the methods, right? The thing is that, and then we come to the eclectic approach. The eclectic approach, you know the meaning of eclectic, right? Is when you take, for example, I can say that my taste on music is eclectic, right? Because I like all kinds of music. I like classical music, and I like, I don't know, jazz, and I like tango and folklore. What I don't like is cumbia. That one I detest, right? But I like lots of kind of music, right? Lots of kinds of music, right? So my taste in music is eclectic. Now, what does it mean to have an eclectic approach in teaching English? Is that we are going to be using different aspects, different characteristics of the different methods. And we are going to put them together and teach English. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, that's why we are talking about, now we are talking about the post-method era. All right, good. So we do have 2 more minutes to finish with this. Here, you can read about the advantages of an eclectic approach, right? And the references here. So let's see now, what questions do you still have about this, right? I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer the questions, right? But at least I'm going to take down notes and prepare them next class. But what other questions would you like to ask me as regards to this? No? Okay, we do have 1.5 minutes, right? And I'm sorry to be repetitive, but I would like you to, when the communication is over, you wait 10 minutes and then you use the same link and we continue, all right? Do you have another Zoom meeting now? Afterwards? No, okay, so we can continue for at least half an hour, right? It won't take longer than that.
Yes.
Yes, what, John Oliver? Yes, what? We can continue.
Oral expression 3.
Oral expression 3, okay. But at what time do you have oral expression 3?
At 6.
At 6, okay. So whenever it's time, you can leave.
No. It's not today, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Ah, okay, all right. Something's very important, people here. It's less than a minute, right? The second part, we are going to continue with the organizing the agenda for the future, okay? Now, as regards the agenda, you need to have an agenda, right? Or a piece of paper where you put everything. Okay, people, 10 minutes break and we'll continue.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a cup of coffee, something to wake up, right? And we'll continue.
Okay, great. See you.